My beloved child, open your heart to receive what I am about to reveal, for this moment is not a random occurrence, but an appointed meeting that was set in motion long before you ever walked upon the earth. Within the flow of time, there are turning points when the veil between the visible and the invisible is drawn aside, and your soul will encounter the reality it has long yearned for but never yet touched. This is one of those moments. Every beat of your heart now resounds with the frequency of the higher realm, and if you listen intently, you will discern the gentle yet sovereign call, inviting you deeper into the original intention of the one who created you. You have journeyed through many seasons, some filled with joy, others marked by trial. There were days when you thought everything was mere chance, that events bore no connection with one another. But today I tell you, every fragment, no matter how small, has been woven together to lead you to this very hour. All things work together for the good of those who love God. Romans 8:28. Therefore, nothing in your life is without meaning. Every tear, every laugh, every effort, and even the times you thought you failed, all are strokes upon a larger canvas that only I behold in its fullness. There is a stirring within the depths of your soul. It is like a seed hidden in the earth through winter, appearing dormant, yet silently preparing for its springtime bloom. So it is with your spirit. The questions without answers, the undefined longings, the unexplainable urgings, all these are signs that you are entering a new season. This is not merely a shift of thought or emotion. It is a divine summons for your soul to ready itself for a journey beyond every familiar frame. I know there are times you tremble at the unknown. Such fear is natural, but do not let it rule you. Remember that when Abraham was called to leave his homeland for a place he had never seen, he went forth by faith, not by sight. Hebrews 1:18. In the same way, you too are being called out of comfort into a new reality I have prepared. You do not walk alone. My hand will guide you. My eyes will watch over you, and my word will be a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. Psalm 119:105. At this moment, I want you to perceive that nothing around you is mere coincidence. Even fleeting encounters, casual words overheard, or dreams that seem obscure may be signals I am sending. Stay awake. Look with the eyes of your heart, for this world often hides eternal messages within seemingly trivial details. As you train yourself to recognize my leading, you will discover that I am closer than you ever imagined, and that every step you take is enveloped in my good plan. Understand this. What I give you now is not simply a reminder to live better or work harder, but a call to live differently, to live with the awareness that you belong to a kingdom unbound by time or space. In that kingdom, the worth is not measured by outward success, but by faithfulness, compassion, and the alignment of your heart with the will of your Creator. What I seek from you is not flawless perfection, but a heart willing to respond to my call even when all is not yet clear. So, let this moment be the beginning of a new way of living. Ask yourself, into what am I pouring my strength, my time, and my heart? Do the pursuits I chase endure forever? Or are they like morning mist that vanishes under the sun? Do not lay up treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and thieves break in and steal, but lay up treasures in heaven. Matthew 6:1-9-20. When you anchor yourself in what is eternal, you will walk lighter, no longer bound by the endless cycle of anxiety and comparison. I do not promise you an escape from every trial, but I assure you that in each one you will find my presence sufficient to sustain you. There will be moments of weariness, but it is then that my strength will shine most fully. Like a sailor navigating stormy seas, you will learn not to resist every wave, but to use their force to move forward. You will come to see that every challenge is part of the refining process, shaping you for something greater. Therefore, stand firm. Open your heart to the fresh wind now, blowing into your life. Do not shrink back in fear, but stretch forth your arms to receive it. For this is no random gust, but the breath of life from the eternal source. Let it sweep away the dust long settled in your soul. Revive dreams grown cold, and rekindle the flame of faith, so you may be ready for the next chapter. When you begin to sense these winds of change upon your life, know that they are not mere disturbances, but signals of a new season. Just as tides follow the rhythm of the moon, so your life is carried within divine cycles known only to the Creator. In each rhythm are moments calling you to release, and others urging you to advance. Now you stand at the threshold of a significant step, where hesitation will only cause the moment to slip away. But courage will open doors you have never seen. Recall the countless times you were delivered from situations you thought impossible. That was not luck, nor merely your own effort. It was my unseen hand sustaining you day by day. Your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. Psalm 139:1-0. Each rescue was a reminder that you are never abandoned, and that this journey is enveloped in my providence. So as you face this new season, place your trust once again in the one who has always been faithful. I know you long to see the full map before you take the journey, but faith does not work that way. Faith is like walking a path lit only one step at a time. Each step taken reveals the next. As you move forward steadily, the fog will lift, and what once seemed obscure will lead you into a land broader than you imagined. That is why I call you to trust, even when your reason demands certainty. In this season, it is vital to guard your mind from the noise of the world. News, opinions, and clashing voices will try to drown you in confusion. But you will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you, Isaiah 2:6-3. Set aside intentional moments of silence, turn off the clamor, so you may hear the whisper of my spirit. In stillness, you will find the clearest direction. Do not let the unknown make you falter. Remember when Peter stepped out of the boat to walk on water? He did the impossible because his eyes were fixed on Jesus. Only when he turned to the wind and waves did he begin to sink. Matthew 1:4-9-30. Likewise, you will stand firm upon the waves of life as long as your gaze remains fixed on the one who calls you. The trials will not disappear, but they will lose their power when you cling to the true source of strength. Entering a new season is not only an outward shift, but an inward transformation. What you believe, how you perceive the world, and how you respond to hardship, all must be reshaped to match the level to which you are being called. This requires letting go of old patterns, even those that once sustained you. For what carried you yesterday may not suffice for tomorrow. Along the way, you may feel slowed by trials that seem to hinder progress. Do not mistake these pauses for delays, for often they are times of deeper preparation. Like the potter shaping clay, I use time and circumstance to mold your soul. Every pressure, every adjustment is meant to strengthen you, so that when the door opens, you are ready to enter. When I call you out of your comfort zone, It is not merely to change your path, but to change the way you see yourself. You are not defined by failures or even by successes. You are chosen, entrusted with a unique role in the grand design. Once you begin to view yourself through this lens, you will realize that the limits you once thought unbreakable were only illusions. Let this time be when you learn to walk with intention. Do not let a single day pass without drawing closer to the divine purpose planted in your heart. Each morning, ask yourself, what can I do today to reflect the light of the one who called me in this awareness? Even the smallest tasks take on eternal weight. And finally, remember that your steps are observed not only by those around you, but also by the great cloud of witnesses, Hebrews 1:2-1, cheering you on from the unseen realm. You do not run alone. You continue a race begun by generations of the faithful before you. Run with endurance. Fix your eyes on the goal, and know that the reward is prepared for those who remain steadfast to the very end. My child, as you continue to walk on the path unfolding before you, I want you to grasp a deeper truth. Not a single step you take is wasted in this plan. Every moment you live carries eternal value when you place it in the hands of the one who created you. This means that even the smallest acts, if done with sincerity and faithfulness, can become stones that build an unshakable foundation. Therefore, my beloved brothers and sisters, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. 1 Corinthians 1:5-8. Remember, the world often measures worth by size, speed, and immediate results. But my kingdom operates on a different principle. Here, faithfulness in the small leads to responsibility in the great propriete. A cup of water given to the thirsty, a word of encouragement to the weary, or a silent prayer for the suffering, each is remembered and answered. Nothing escapes my eyes, and no act of love ever becomes meaningless. My child, in this season, what I desire you to learn is the ability to keep your heart steadfast, even when circumstances shift. There will be times when you feel as though you are walking in a fog, unsure of which direction is right. That is not a sign you are lost, but an invitation to walk closer with me. When you cannot see the whole picture, you will learn to trust the one who sees it all. It is in this dependence that your faith will be refined and your heart will grow stronger than ever. I also want you to recognize that not every word or opinion you hear from others comes from me. In life, many voices will compete for your attention, some leading you toward truth, others pulling you away. Your task is to discern. Test the spirits to see whether they are from God. 1 John 4:1. Weigh every counsel, every opportunity, every relationship against the light of my word. If something draws you away from peace within, then it is not the way I intend for you. Beloved child, I do not be surprised if in this season I teach you how to let go. Surrender is not always easy, but it is the path into the new. There are things you once thought indispensable, yet when the time comes, I will show you that you can live fully without them. Indeed, releasing what you hold can sometimes be the very key that unlocks the freedom you have been seeking. Trust that I never take away without having something better to give. As you learn to yield control to me, you will discover a lightness you have never known. You will no longer strain to hold everything together. Instead, you will begin to live in rest, knowing that the one leading you never makes a mistake. This rest is not passivity. but the state of a soul assured it rests in almighty hands. From this place of rest, you will find strength to act with clarity and boldness. My child, as you step into each new day, I want you to realize that every choice carries consequences not only for the present but for eternity. What you choose to love, what you choose to pursue, what you choose to believe, all of these shape your soul. Therefore, choose what is good, even when it requires sacrifice. Choose truth, even when it sets you apart. And choose me, even when you cannot yet see the reward. I know there are times when you grow weary because the race feels too long. In those moments, remember those who have gone before you, who persevered to the end and received the crown of life. Let their example inspire you to press on. Above all, let my love be the deepest motivation that sustains you. This love does not depend on your achievements, does not change with circumstances, and will never leave you. Child, do not forget that this journey is not merely about reaching a destination, but about becoming a new person. The goal is not only to arrive where I have promised, but to be transformed into one who can live fully in that place. This requires inner change, a renewal of the mind, so that you not only know the truth but live in it. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 1:2. So, my child, continue walking with firm faith and an open heart. Receive each day as an opportunity to move closer to the eternal goal. Remember that every step, whether small or great, when taken in obedience, contributes to the grand design I am painting. And when you look back, you will see that every path, every decision, every sacrifice has led you exactly where I intended you to be. My child, as you enter this new stage of the journey, know that what matters most is not just where you are going, but who is walking with you. Throughout history, those who entered unknown lands without heavenly guidance often lost their way. But when they allowed their Maker to walk with them, every step was illuminated. If your presence does not go with us, do not bring us up from here. Exodus 3:1-5. This was not only Moses' declaration, but a principle you must hold on to. Examine what has been shaping your decisions. It may be worthy desires or the expectations of others. Yet, my child, not every dream originates from me, and not every opportunity is a door I have opened. What you need is discernment. Discernment does not come from natural intelligence, but from intimate union with me through prayer and meditation. When you learn to seek my counsel before each step, you will be amazed at how I speak through what seems like chance. Do not underestimate the importance of preparation. Many fail not because they lack ability, but because they neglected the season of training before facing greater trials. Just as David fought the lion and the bear before confronting Goliath, so you are facing smaller challenges to prepare you for greater assignments. Every experience, whether pleasant or painful, is shaping you into a vessel fit for my purpose. I know there are times when the waiting feels long and heavy. You may think I have forgotten or delayed my promise, but remember, with the Lord a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. 2 Peter 3:8. My timing is not like yours, and what I prepare always surpasses your expectations. If you rush into what is unready, you will struggle to keep it. But if you wait patiently, you will receive something enduring. My child, In this season of transition, you will face many crossroads. Each path may carry its own promise, but not all lead to life. Some roads may appear smooth, yet end in emptiness. While a narrow way may lead to eternal peace, I call you to choose the path I have shown, even if it is less traveled and demands sacrifice. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction. Matthew 7:1-14. You must also beware of false calls. They often appear attractive, promising quick success or immediate ease. Yet they do not bring you closer to me, but only tie you to fleeting things. Measure every invitation against my word. If it encourages you to live in righteousness, love, and humility, it is a good sign. If it stirs pride, rivalry, or greed, turn away from it. My child, remember that when I lead you into something new, I care not only about where you are headed, but about who you are becoming along the way. This process will reveal what you must release, what skills you must develop, and what relationships you must strengthen or let go. I do this not to burden you, but to make you freer and stronger. In every step, I want you to keep your heart soft before me. A hardened heart resists teaching, but a tender heart readily receives correction and guidance. When you are willing to learn, even from mistakes, you will grow more quickly. And when you place your heart in my hands, I will turn old wounds into new wisdom and failures into foundations for lasting success. Take this time to deepen your relationship with me. Do not seek me only for answers, but seek me for my presence itself. Let the quiet moments become places of renewal and strength. When you learn to treasure my presence above all else, you will see every other area of life fall into its proper place. And finally, my child, do not forget that every trial, every journey, and every waiting season is part of a greater design. You are being prepared for a purpose beyond what you now see. When the time comes, all will be made clear, and you will know that every drop of sweat, every prayer, and every moment of faithfulness was never wasted. Hold fast to your faith, for the work I have begun in you, I will carry on to completion until the final day. Philippians 1:6. As you continue through this season of preparation, know that perseverance does not come from sheer willpower, but as fruit of a deep union with the one who has called you. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit apart from the vine, you cannot sustain spiritual life apart from me. Abide in me, and I in you. John 1:5-4. When you abide in me, everything you need to stand firm will flow naturally. Understand that steadfastness is not formed in easy days, but forged in times of pressure. It is in adversity that faith takes deeper root. Trials are like fire refining gold. They burn away what is impure and leave the essence. When you pass through such times, you will no longer be the same as before. Your heart will grow stronger, your vision clearer, and your steps more secure. My child, I want you to understand that the times which may seem like my silence are not abandonment, but opportunities for you to learn how to recognize me through subtler signs. When you do not hear my direct voice, seek me in the scriptures, in the small events of your day, and in the peace that surpasses all understanding. Silence does not mean I am absent. It is an invitation for you to go deeper in your search. In this season, I will also teach you how to set your priorities rightly. You cannot chase after everything at once and still hope to remain focused. I call you to lay aside the weights and unnecessary burdens so that you may run the race set before you. Hebrews 1:2-1. Some activities may not be evil, but if they take the place of what matters most, they become hindrances. You must have the courage to say no to whatever does not serve the purpose I have placed before you. My child, be mindful that the enemy will always seek out your weakest point, especially when you are weary or unguarded. He may use flattery to stir up pride, or criticism to sow doubt. He may exploit impatience to make you rush ahead, or magnify fear to make you retreat. Therefore, clothe yourself in the full armor of the Spirit, so that you may stand firm against all his schemes. Keep my word in your heart, for it is the sharp sword that enables you to discern truth from deception. I also want you to see that every relationship in your life carries influence upon this journey. Some people will lift you up and encourage you to keep moving forward, while others may pull you away from your purpose. Be wise in choosing those with whom you share your dreams and struggles. He who walks with the wise becomes wise. Proverbs 1:3-20. When you surround yourself with those who also seek after me, your faith will be strengthened and your true purpose continually reminded. My child, as you walk this path, focus on building foundations that cannot be shaken. These are not foundations of fame or wealth, but of integrity, kindness, and faithfulness. The world may dismiss these values, but in my kingdom, they are rare jewels. When you anchor your life upon them, you will remain steadfast, no matter the storm. I know there are moments when you feel this process is too slow. You see others advancing quickly, accomplishing much, and you wonder if you are being left behind. But do not compare. My child, every journey is uniquely designed. You cannot measure your progress by another's standard. What matters is not how fast you go, but whether you are walking in the right direction. Use this time to train your ears to listen and to obey promptly. When I guide you, respond without delay, without bargaining. Delayed obedience often costs you precious opportunities. Remember, I do not always explain the reason for my command, but every word I speak is wrapped in wisdom and love. As you develop the habit of immediate obedience, you will find yourself always in the right place at the right time. My child, above all, do not neglect your life of prayer. Let prayer not be a mere reaction to trouble, but the very breath of your soul. It keeps you in constant communion with me, so that at any moment you can receive guidance. In prayer, you are not only speaking, but also opening your heart to listen. It is in these dialogues that you come to sense the rhythm of my heart and align your life with it. Remember, my child, everything you are now experiencing is an essential part of a good and perfect plan, even though you cannot see the full picture. I see it, even though you do not yet grasp the purpose. I have already ordained it. Every step, every lesson, every moment of endurance is bringing you closer to the day you will look back and say, all things truly work together for good. Therefore, hold fast to faith, keep pressing forward, and trust that he who began a good work in you will surely bring it to completion. My child, once you have endured the days of preparation and learned steadfastness of heart, I desire to lead you into a deeper awareness of the value of partnership with me. Many think the spiritual journey is a solitary effort, but in truth, it is a continual companionship between the one who calls and the one who is called. As you walk in my purpose, you do not rely on your own strength, but are joined to a limitless source of power. This not only ensures that you will reach the destination, but transforms you with every step you take. You must understand that every stage you go through carries meaning. Trials are never random. They are permitted to refine your inner character. Like a master smith, I know how hot the fire must be, when to add heat and when to cool. To shape a perfect vessel, you may feel the pressure, but it is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to reveal hidden strength you never knew you had. Suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. Romans 5:3-4. My child, in this season, it is vital to strengthen your foundations. A lasting structure is not built upon appearance, but upon the hidden depth of its foundation. In the same way, a spiritual life cannot endure if it rests only on fleeting feelings. You must cultivate the daily habit of seeking me, listening to my word, and putting it into practice. When storms come, these habits will be the anchor that keeps you firm. Know also that true progress is not measured by speed, but by perseverance and consistency. There will be days when you feel you have moved only a single step, but if you keep the right direction every day, you will go farther than the one who runs swiftly, yet changes course again and again. Just as a river, steady and relentless, can wear down the hardest stone, so your perseverance will yield results beyond your imagination. Do not forget, my child, that this journey is not only for your own benefit. The experiences you gather, the victories you win, even the scars you bear can become a source of encouragement to others. When you share your story not to boast, but to testify of my faithfulness, you become a living witness. Words born of a heart refined by trial will reach places reason cannot touch. In these moments, remain watchful against distractions. Many things may seem harmless on the surface, but can slowly steal your focus. Like seeds that fall among thorns, they will be choked if worries and fleeting pleasures take over. Guard your heart, for from it flow the springs of life. Proverbs 4:2-3. When your mind is kept pure, you will more easily recognize the next step I want you to take, my child. I also want you to remember that gratitude is the key to sustaining joy and strength. When you choose to focus on blessings, whether great or small, you will see life's picture with greater clarity. Gratitude does not deny difficulties, but it gives you a new lens through which to face them. Instead of seeing only obstacles, you will begin to notice opportunities for growth. As you give thanks, you open the door for me to do even more in your life. Be careful, my child, not to confuse waiting with stagnation. There is a difference between patiently waiting for the right time and standing still in fear. When I tell you to pause, it is for preparation, but when I tell you to go, you must act at once. Timely obedience brings results that delayed obedience cannot recover. Learn to distinguish between the peace of waiting and the hesitation born of doubt. As I lead you into new paths, there will be things you must leave behind. Not everything that has accompanied you thus far will serve you in the next stage. Certain relationships, habits, or even thought patterns may need to change or come to an end. This may stir regret, but trust that I know what will lighten your steps and set you freer. Letting go is not loss. It is preparation for what is new. Finally, my child, hold fast to the assurance that every step you take is covered by divine providence. Even when you cannot see the destination, I believe it is before you. Even when you do not understand the road, Trust that it has been drawn by the one who loves you without condition. Walk on in faith, knowing that all you face today is shaping you for a more complete tomorrow. And when you look back, you will realize my hand has never left you, not even for a moment. As you enter this new season, I want to open your eyes to see that what lies ahead will not only test the strength of your faith, but also reveal the importance of standing firm in truth. On the path before you, there will be voices urging you to compromise your principles for convenience or quick success. But remember, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. Proverbs 2:2-3. True wisdom lies in choosing rightly, even when it costs you something. Recall the times I rescued you from dangers you did not even recognize. I intervened when you walked close to the edge. I shut doors to opportunities that seemed good but would have led you into bondage. This was never to limit you, but to protect your soul from detours that would steal your peace. When you realize that every act of protection flows from love, you will learn to trust me more, even without knowing the reason. My child, this is also the time to sharpen your ability to discern my voice among the clamor of many sounds. The world will flood you with information, advice, and opinions. Some may appear wise, amoral, but not all come from the source of truth. Only when you become familiar with the shepherd's voice can you distinguish true guidance. My sheep hear my voice, I know them, and they follow me. John 1:0-7. Set aside time each day to listen, not only in prayer, but also in the stillness of your soul. Many times I do not speak through thunder or signs, but through a gentle whisper. Yet that whisper will be drowned out if you remain lost in constant busyness. Silence will become the sacred space where you receive the key instructions for your next steps. My child, in this season you will face challenges not only from the outside, but also from within yourself. The fear of failure, the sense of unworthiness, and the memories of past mistakes may return to discourage you. I want you to know that these things do not define you. You are not bound by the past, for I have made all things new. When I forgive, I do not keep old records to remind you of them. I call you forward, not backward. Remember that the enemy will try to exploit the weaknesses of your mind to sow doubt. It will ask you, did God really say that, just as it did in the Garden of Eden? But, my child, you have been given the weapons to respond with truth. My word is both shield and sword. When you hold firmly to it, no lie can shake you. My child, you must also learn to see the good even in adversity. Not every hardship comes from the enemy, and not every comfort is a blessing. At times I allow trials so that strength may be built in you, strength that ease and comfort cannot provide. Just as gold is refined by fire, your heart is refined through testing. When you view difficulties through this lens, you will no longer see them as obstacles but as opportunities for growth. Know this, my child, when I lead you on a path, I never leave you to struggle on your own. I give you wisdom to make decisions, courage to face trials, and patience to await results. The only thing I require of you is unwavering trust. That trust will be the anchor that holds you firm, even when storms rise against you. Do not measure the value of a day only by what you accomplish outwardly. There are days when all I desire is for you to learn to rest in my presence. This rest is not laziness, but a time for renewal and for your vision to be realigned. When you rise again from that place of rest, You will be stronger and clearer than ever before. Remember, all that I am teaching you in this season is not only for overcoming the present, but also to prepare you for greater responsibilities. Every skill, every lesson, and every small victory today will become priceless treasure for tomorrow. When the appointed time comes, you will realize that nothing has been wasted. All is shaping you into the person I intend you to be, one who can walk in confidence, humility, and the power of the Almighty. My child, as you continue this journey, I want you to grasp a vital truth. No lasting growth can occur apart from deep connection with the source of life. You may achieve certain things by your own strength, but they will quickly fade if they are not rooted in truth. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Psalm 127:1. Whatever is born of union with me will carry life, endure, and bear fruit in its proper season. You must understand that the true reward is not found only in reaching the destination, but in the transformation of your inner being along the way. Each trial is a lesson, each victory a reminder that I am still at work. Even when you find yourself walking through barren lands, know that I am leading you toward the springs of living water. Often the hardest seasons are the very times I am doing the deepest work within your soul. My child, in this season you will discover that spiritual discipline is a strong wall of protection against subtle attacks. The enemy will not always appear in obvious forms. It may come as a reasonable thought, a tempting offer, or a golden opportunity at just the right time. But if it leads you away from peace, you must pause and reconsider. When you maintain the habit of reading my word, praying, and seeking guidance, you will receive discernment to avoid well-disguised snares. Remember, steadfastness is not rigidity, but the ability to hold firm to your purpose while adapting to circumstances. I do not want you to be so stubborn that you refuse to change your methods, but I do want you resolute enough never to change your goal. When the winds shift, you may adjust your sails, but do not change your destination. This requires both wisdom and spiritual sensitivity. Do not neglect the care of your soul. Just as the body must be nourished to remain strong, your soul must be fed with what is pure and wholesome. If you allow your mind to absorb only negativity, doubt, or fear, your faith will be eroded. Instead, choose to fill your heart with what is noble, right, and praiseworthy. Philippians 4:8. What you sow into your mind today will determine the fruit you reap tomorrow. In this season, I also want you to realize that humility is the key that opens the door to wisdom. Pride will make you ignore valuable counsel or resist necessary correction. But humility enables you to listen, to learn, and to grow. When you admit that you do not know everything, you make room for me to add what you need. Humility does not diminish your worth, it elevates it in my sight. My child, do not fear being tested or drawn out of your comfort zone. The safe place may feel pleasant, but it can become a barrier to growth. I will lead you into places you have never been, so you may discover capacities you never imagined you had. Just as a soldier is trained through difficult drills to prepare for the battlefield, you too will be prepared to face greater assignments. I also want you to recognize the importance of companionship along the way. You will need those who can pray with you, share your burdens, and remind you of your calling when you feel weary. Do not hesitate to seek the support of those strong in faith. 2 are better than 1, for they have a good return for their labor. If one falls, the other will lift him up. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10. When you belong to a healthy spiritual community, you are less isolated and more resilient. My child, learn the habit of checking your direction. Sometimes you may be so caught up in tasks or goals that you forget the original purpose. It is necessary to pause and ensure that you are still on the right path. If you discover you have strayed, adjust immediately. Do not wait until you are too far gone. Let my guidance be your compass. And trust that when you sincerely seek, I will show you the way. Always remember, in every stage of the journey, the most precious treasure is not what you accomplish, but who you become. When you hold fast to truth, nurture deep communion with me, and live with clarity of purpose, you will discover that the greatest reward is my presence with you each day. That is something no one can take away, and it is the inexhaustible strength that will carry you forward until the race is finished. My child, after seasons of training and endurance, I want you to grasp this. The journey is not only about moving forward, but about keeping your heart upright and pure. There will be no shortage of enticing offers, seemingly harmless compromises, or opportunities that appear favorable but harbor seeds of destruction. If you are not watchful, such things will quietly erode your strength. Watch and pray, so that you will not fall into temptation. Matthew 2:6-4:1. Your greatest protection, my child, lies in staying closely bound to the one who has called you. When this relationship is kept above all else, you will always have light to guide you and wisdom to discern truth from falsehood. I do not want you to become suspicious of everything, but I want you wise enough not to give your heart and trust to anything contrary to truth. Guarding yourself in truth is the way to preserve your soul from deep wounds that are hard to heal. My child, know that faithfulness is most clearly revealed, not in moments of glory, but in the quiet deeds when no one is watching. It is the small, daily choices that, when added together, shape your character and direction. If you are steadfast in little things, you will be ready for greater ones. But if you treat small matters lightly, you will be more easily distracted when facing larger trials. Learn to cherish every step forward, even the smallest. The world urges you to chase instant results, but my kingdom works by the principle of sowing and reaping. Seeds need time to sprout, grow, and bear fruit. If you patiently tend them, the harvest will come at the appointed time. Do not give up simply because you see no immediate results, for often the best things are forming in the unseen. Do not underestimate the power of words. The words you speak can bring life or death. Proverbs 1:8-1. When you use words to encourage, uplift, and declare truth, you are planting good seeds in the hearts of others. But if you allow bitter or negative words to escape your lips, you create wounds that may take long to heal. Let your tongue be an instrument of healing and hope. And, my child, I know this forgiveness is an essential companion on your journey. You will encounter people who hurt you, and there will be times when you cause pain to others. If you hold on to bitterness, that burden will hinder your steps. But when you forgive, you open the door to freedom not only for the other person, but also for yourself. Forgiveness is not agreement with wrong, but the choice not to let it bind you any longer. My child, there will be times when I call you to step out and serve, even when you feel unprepared. I do not choose you because you are perfect, but because you are willing, as you obey. you will experience my power revealed through your weakness. This will help you realize that true success does not come from your ability, but from my presence that walks with you. That is why I want you to always remain in a posture of readiness, whether convenient or not. You must also remember that protection does not only come from avoiding danger, but from walking on the path appointed for you. When you walk in the right direction, I will provide, guide, and open the way before you. But when you turn to your own path, you will carry the weight and risks that I never intended for you. Therefore, keep your ears and heart sensitive to the signals I send, whether through my word, through others, or through events in your life. My child, do not fear when you find yourself walking alone in certain seasons. Not everyone will understand or agree with your path, but if you know you are within my will, the agreement of the majority no longer matters. Many heroes of faith in Scripture walked against the crowd, and it was their obedience that brought eternal fruit. Let your courage be built on conviction, not on the approval of others. And finally, my child, engrave deeply in your heart that the purpose of all these things is to make you more like me. Every lesson, every trial, and every victory is meant to transform you from within. When you reflect my heart through the way you live, speak, and love, you will become a light in the midst of darkness. That is the true victory, not merely finishing the journey, but walking it with a heart that reflects the glory of the one who has called you. My child, as you step into a new stage of your journey, I want you to understand that this is a time to expand your vision and raise your standards. What you have attained so far is precious, but it is not the final destination. I did not call you to stop at a place of safety, but to move deeper into the realms of faith and understanding. Forget what is behind and press on toward what is ahead, to run toward the goal. Philippians 3:1-14. This is the word I want you to embrace today. Stepping into this new season means you must cast off the limits you or others have placed upon you. Some limits are born of circumstances, but others come from long-held patterns of thought. When I said, "All things are possible for the one who believes," I was not speaking of vague optimism, but of a certainty that my plans for you are not bound by the barriers of this world. If you keep your eyes fixed on me, you will see doors opening that once seemed shut. My child, in this stage you will face more complex challenges, requiring you to hold both simplicity of heart and depth of wisdom. Simplicity, to trust my word without doubting. Wisdom, to discern the true path among many voices that call. This balance will keep you from the trap of blind naivety, while also protecting you from becoming rigid and closed to new guidance. I want you to learn to see every circumstance as part of my preparation. When you face obstacles, do not merely ask, "Why is this happening?" but ask, "What can I learn from this?" When opportunities arise, do not only think, "What benefit is this to me?" but ask, "Does this draw me closer to the purpose I have set before you?" These questions will keep you from being carried away by distractions and help you focus on what holds lasting value. My child, in this season, quick obedience will be the key. I will lead you into situations where, if you delay, the door will close. Just as Philip, when the Spirit told him to go near the Ethiopian's chariot, did not hesitate, and through it a soul was transformed. You too will see extraordinary results when you respond promptly to my leading. You must also understand that entering a new season means some relationships will change. Some will continue with you, while others will only walk a portion of the road. Do not grieve when this happens, for each person has a role and a time appointed in your life. Instead of clinging, give thanks for what they have contributed, and allow me to bring the right companions for the next stage. My child, this is also a time when you must guard your time more carefully than ever. Time is a resource that cannot be reclaimed, and if you do not steward it wisely, you will be scattered. I want you to prioritize what matters most: my presence, your spiritual growth, and the mission entrusted to you. When you set these above all else, other areas of life will naturally fall into their rightful place. I also want you to focus on developing the gifts I have placed within you. A gift is a treasure, but for it to flourish fully, you must practice and use it often. Do not hide it out of fear of failure or of being judged. As you remain faithful in using it, I will expand your influence and grant you more opportunities to serve. Remember, gifts are not given for your benefit alone, but so that blessings may flow through you to touch others. My child, prepare your heart to embrace swift changes. There will be times when progress moves faster than you expected, and other times when it seems everything slows down. Whether quick or slow, trust that I am still steering the course. When your heart rests in the peace I give, you will not be shaken by the unpredictable rhythms of circumstance. And finally, my child, remember that above all you will go through, the most precious treasure remains my presence with you. Success, influence, or achievements cannot replace walking with me. When you keep this relationship above all else, you will have strength, wisdom, and joy to face whatever lies ahead. Hold tightly to my hand, and together we will step into this new season with confidence and enduring hope. My child, there will be times when I call you to step out and serve. Even when you feel unprepared, I do not choose you because you are perfect, but because you are willing. As you obey, you will experience my power revealed through your weakness. This will help you understand that true success does not come from your own ability, but from my presence walking with you. That is why I desire you to always remain in a posture of readiness, whether convenient or not. You must also remember that protection is not only about avoiding danger, but about walking the path already appointed for you. When you walk in the right direction, I will provide, guide, and open the way before you. But when you turn aside to your own path, you will have to bear burdens and risks that I have not destined for you. Therefore, keep your ears and heart sensitive to the signals I send, whether through my word, through others, or through the events of life. My child, do not be afraid when you find yourself walking alone in certain seasons. Not everyone will understand or agree with your direction. Yet if you know you are within my will, the approval of the many is no longer important. Many heroes of faith in Scripture walked against the crowd, and it was precisely their obedience that bore eternal fruit. Let your courage be built upon conviction, not upon the applause of others. And in the end, my child, engrave this truth upon your heart. The purpose of all these things is to make you more like me. Every lesson, every trial, and every victory is meant to transform you from within. When you reflect my heart in the way you live, speak, and love, you will become a light in the midst of darkness. That is the true victory, not merely reaching the end of the journey, but walking it with a heart that radiates the glory of the one who has called you. My child, as you step into this new stage of the journey, I want you to understand that this is the time to expand your vision and raise your standard. What you have achieved until now is precious, but it is not the final destination. I have not called you to settle at a safe plateau, but to continue pressing into deeper realms of faith and understanding. Forget what is behind and strain toward what is ahead, pressing on toward the goal. Philippians 3:1-14. This is the very word I desire you to hold on to today. My child, entering this season also means you must cast off the limitations you or others have placed upon yourself. Some limits come from circumstances, but others come from long-ingrained patterns of thought. When I say that all things are possible for the one who believes, I am not speaking of vague hope, but of a firm assurance that my plans for you are not bound by the barriers of this world. If you keep your eyes fixed on me, you will see doors once thought sealed begin to open. At this stage, you will encounter more complex challenges, requiring you to keep both a childlike trust and profound wisdom, simplicity, to believe my word without doubt, wisdom, to discern the true path among many enticing ways. This balance will protect you from the trap of blind naivety, while also guarding you from rigidity that closes off fresh guidance. I want you to learn to view every circumstance as part of the preparation process. When you face obstacles, do not merely ask, "Why has this happened?" but ask, "What can I learn from this?" When you face opportunities, do not only think, "What benefit does this bring to me?" but ask, "Does this draw me nearer to the purpose I have set before me?" Such questions will keep you from being carried away by distractions and will help you remain focused on what holds lasting value. My child, in this season, swift obedience will be the decisive factor. I will lead you into situations where, if you hesitate, the door will close. Just as Philip heard the Spirit instruct him to go near the Ethiopian's chariot and did not delay, resulting in a soul transformed, so it will be with you. When you respond promptly to my leading, you will witness outcomes beyond expectation. You must also understand that stepping into a new season means certain relationships will change. Some will continue to walk with you, while others will only accompany you for a portion of the way. Do not grieve when this happens, for each person is appointed a role and a time in your life. Instead of clinging, give thanks for their contribution, and allow me to bring into your life those who are prepared for the next stage. My child, this is also the time to guard your time more seriously than ever before. Time is a resource that cannot be reclaimed, and if you do not steward it wisely, you will become scattered. I want you to prioritize what matters most: my presence, your spiritual growth, and the mission entrusted to you. When you place these first, the other areas of life will naturally fall into their proper order. I also desire you to focus on developing the gifts I have placed within you. A gift is a treasure, but for it to be fully realized, you must exercise and refine it regularly. Do not hide it out of fear of failure or fear of judgment. As you remain faithful in using it, I will expand your influence and open greater opportunities to serve. Remember, gifts are not given for your benefit alone, but that blessing may flow through you to touch others. My child, prepare your heart to embrace rapid changes. At times you will see things progress beyond your expectations, and at other times it may feel as though everything slows down. whether swift or slow. Trust that I remain at the helm. When your heart is anchored in the peace I give, you will not be shaken by the irregular rhythms of circumstance. And finally, my child, remember that through all you are about to face, the most precious treasure remains, my presence with you. Success, influence, or achievements cannot replace walking with me. When you place this relationship above all else, you will find strength, wisdom, and joy to face whatever lies ahead. Hold tightly to my hand, and together we will step into this new season with confidence and steadfast hope. My child, this is also the time when you must guard your time more seriously than ever before. Time is a resource that cannot be regained, and if you do not manage it wisely, you will be scattered. I want you to know how to prioritize what matters most. My presence, your spiritual growth, and the mission entrusted to you. When you place these above all else, every other area will naturally fall into its rightful place. I also want you to focus on cultivating the gifts I have placed within you. A gift is a blessing, but for it to fully flourish, you must train and use it consistently. Do not hide it out of fear of failure or fear of judgment. When you faithfully exercise it, I will expand your influence and open greater opportunities for service. Remember, gifts are not given merely for your benefit, but so that blessings may flow through you to touch others. My child, prepare your heart to embrace swift changes. There will be times when things progress beyond expectation, and times when everything seems to slow down, whether fast or slow. Trust that I remain at the helm. When you keep your heart steady in the peace I give, you will not be swayed by the erratic rhythms of circumstance. And finally, beloved child, remember that above all you will face, the most precious treasure is still my abiding presence. Success, influence, or achievements can never replace walking with me. When you put this relationship first, you will receive strength, wisdom, and joy to face whatever lies ahead. Hold tightly to my hand, and together we will step into this new season with confidence and steadfast hope. My child, as you enter this season of expansion and refining, I want you to understand that it is not only a time for advancing but also for strengthening what you have already received. No matter how beautiful a structure may be, it can collapse if the foundation is neglected. That is why I call you to regularly examine the core principles of your life. Do not assume that because you once stood firm, you will always remain strong without care. Even the greatest tree in the forest still needs rain to sustain life. Remember, endurance does not come from hurried strides, but from steady steps. I do not want you to run so fast that you lose your breath and have no strength to finish the race. Instead, I want you to know when to accelerate and when to slow down to recover. This is not weakness, but wisdom. Those who steward their strength wisely will go farther than those who pour everything out at the start. My child, in this time, I want you to strengthen life-giving relationships. The right companions will help you stand firm when trials come. Seek those who share your values, your direction, and who can speak truth to you even when you do not wish to hear it. Iron sharpens iron, and friends sharpen one another. Proverbs 2:7-1:7. Correction and encouragement from such relationships will keep you aligned on the right path. You must also realize that service is essential for sustaining spiritual vitality in this season. If you only receive but do not give, you will become stagnant. But when you share what you have been given, whether time, ability, or encouragement, you will find your life becoming richer. Service does not diminish you. It unlocks a continual flow of blessing. My child, pay close attention to how you steward the resources I entrust to you. Time, health, and opportunities are precious gifts. If you consume them without wisdom, you will quickly become drained. But if you learn to prioritize and use them with care, they will multiply. Like a faithful steward, you are called to manage everything not only for your own benefit but for a higher purpose. I also want you to recognize that personal discipline will be your strongest safeguard in this season. Discipline anchors good habits and prevents harmful ones from creeping in. You cannot control external circumstances, but you can always control your response. When you maintain discipline in your thoughts, words, and actions, you will find yourself less entangled in things that drain your energy. My child, do not neglect the life of worship. Worship is not merely an activity in gatherings, but an attitude of daily living. When you give thanks for small things, when you praise me even in difficulty, you transform each moment into an act of honor. This lifestyle of worship will keep your heart tender and your eyes fixed on what matters most. In this journey, there will be times when you walk without seeing immediate results. Do not let this discourage you. Just as a farmer cannot force fruit to appear overnight, you too need time to see the harvest of your faithfulness. Trust that each step you take and each right choice you make is storing up an abundant season of reaping. My child, be courageous to say no to things that may seem good but are not part of my plan for you. Not every invitation or opportunity is fitting, even if they bring short-term benefits. When you learn to refuse what is unaligned, you create room for the very best. Wise choices today will spare you much regret tomorrow. And finally, let this truth be etched deeply in your heart. Everything you do in this season resounds in eternity. When you live with this awareness, you will not be easily swayed by what is temporary. Each word, each action, and each decision will be measured by eternal value, not fleeting emotions. Continue with firm faith, knowing I walk beside you and that what I have begun in you will be brought to completion in beauty. My child, as you step into this new stage, I want you to understand that steadfastness must now be coupled with vision. It is time not only to focus on the steps ahead, but to see the larger picture I am painting for your life. Every event, every relationship, every challenge you have faced has been a brushstroke on this great canvas. When you stand far enough to view the whole, you will realize that not a single detail was wasted. This is the moment for you to dare to dream beyond what you thought possible, not for selfish ambition, but to fulfill the divine purpose I placed in you before you were born. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, Jeremiah 1:5. This word is not only for prophets, but a declaration that I ordained purpose for every life, and no one else can take your place. Do not let the limits of the past bind your future. You may have failed, been underestimated, or rejected, but those do not define your worth or potential. In me, what seemed like an ending is only the beginning. I can turn failure into lessons, weakness into strength, and loss into opportunities to reveal my power. I want you to know that keeping your focus in this season is more vital than ever. With greater opportunities come greater distractions. Some will be harmless delays, while others will be subtle traps leading you astray. That is why you must cling to my word and the guidance of my spirit to stay on course. My child, prepare to steward wisely what I am placing in your hands. The more you are entrusted with, the more wisdom you will need to use it rightly. This is not only about possessions or opportunities, but about influence and responsibility. Like a faithful steward who multiplies wealth through investment, you too must cause what I entrust to you to bear fruit for the benefit of many, not only yourself. Remember, true prosperity is not measured by wealth, but by how fully you fulfill your role in my plan. Some are rich in possessions, yet poor in purpose. Others may have little in material things, yet are rich in meaning and eternal impact. I want you to be the latter, leaving behind a legacy that outlives your earthly days. Do not fear when I call you beyond your comfort zone to do what you have never done. In those very moments, you will see my hand most clearly. You will realize that your strength and resources have limits, but my provision does not. When you dare to step out in faith, I will open doors you could never have imagined. I also want you to tend to your health and balance. A weary messenger cannot complete his mission, and a tired warrior is easily defeated. Care for your body, mind, and spirit as sacred gifts entrusted to you. When you are at your best, you will serve and impact many more. My child, never underestimate the power of companionship. Even the strongest need others to stand with them. Moses had Aaron, David had Jonathan, and Paul had Barnabas. Open your heart to receive support and be ready to lift others when they are in need. In a strong community, burdens are shared, joy is multiplied, and the mission remains clear. And finally, let hope guide every step you take. Not a hope built on favorable circumstances, but a steadfast hope rooted in the faithfulness of the one who called you. When your eyes remain forward with trust, you will not be halted by temporary obstacles. Remember, this journey is not just about reaching a destination, but about becoming more like me each day, until you finish your course with joy and victory. As you continue on this path, my child, remember that every decision in this stage carries greater weight than before, not only because you are nearer to your goal, but because your present steps shape the landscape of the season ahead. Just as a builder must lay every brick with care, you too must ensure each choice rests on the firm foundation of truth. This is the time to learn the difference between what is good and what is best. Many times you will need to decline opportunities that are not wrong, simply because they are not what I have appointed for you now. Wisdom is not only avoiding what is wrong, but choosing what aligns most with my intent. All things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. 1 Corinthians 6, 1-2. Let this word be your compass, keeping you from distraction. My child, in this stage, integrity will be among the most precious values you must guard. There may be moments of temptation to take shortcuts or find easier ways, but remember, what is gained by compromise will never yield lasting peace. When you uphold integrity under pressure, you declare that loyalty to me outweighs any fleeting success. I also want you to sharpen your spiritual discernment. This comes not only from reading my word, but from applying it in real situations. As you practice truth daily, discernment will become as natural as breathing. You will know when to move, when to pause, when to wait, and when to act immediately. This gift will protect you from many snares the enemy has set. And my child, do not forget to nurture gratitude in every circumstance. Gratitude is not only a feeling but a deliberate choice. When you give thanks even in difficulty, you proclaim that your faith is not dependent on conditions. Gratitude also sustains humility, for it reminds you that every good thing comes from me, not merely from your own ability. My child, this is also the time for you to devote more of yourself to stillness. In the busyness of life, it is easy for you to become so absorbed in work that you forget to connect with me. Yet it is within the quiet that you will hear my voice most clearly. Set aside fixed moments that belong to only you and me without interruption, without distraction. These moments will become the wellspring of strength you need to face every challenge. My child, do not underestimate the role of the community of faith. Alone, you may walk fast, but together, you will go farther. When you are in healthy fellowship with those who share the same vision, you will receive encouragement and support when you need it most. At the same time, you will also have the opportunity to be a source of inspiration and strength for them. These relationships will not only help you stand firm, but also guard you from isolation, a vulnerable state that makes you an easy target for attack. I also want you to prepare your heart to face sudden changes. At times, I will alter your plans, not to make your path harder, but to protect you or to open a better way. Be ready to adjust when I point you in a new direction. Flexibility does not mean a lack of conviction. It is the ability to hold firmly to the goal while adapting your methods in order to achieve it. My child, continue to cultivate patience. You may have already endured much, but this season will require an even greater measure. There will be moments when you feel as though you are standing still. Yet in truth, I am arranging all that must be in place. When the time comes, doors will swing open almost all at once, and you will see that the waiting was entirely worth it. And finally, my child, keep your heart soft and teachable. Do not allow success or experience to convince you that you no longer need to learn. Each day, I desire to teach you something new, sometimes through my word, sometimes through circumstances, and sometimes through the very people you meet. As you maintain a spirit of learning, you will never stop growing and will always be ready for what I have prepared. My child, now that you have learned to discern between what is good and what is best, to keep gratitude and sensitivity alive, I want to lead you deeper into this journey, into complete surrender. Not only surrender in the easy areas, but even in those you have clung to for yourself. True surrender does not occur when you still retain control over part of your life, but when you trust me to guide the whole of it. This surrender, my child, is not passive. It is an act of courage and resolve. It requires letting go of your prearranged plans to step into what I have prepared, even when it surpasses your understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. This is the key to remaining on course amid life's many crossroads. Do not fear loss when you surrender, my child, for in my hands, all you give up will be transformed and returned in far greater measure. I have never taken anything away without replacing it with something better. What I ask of you is not perfect actions, but a heart that is ready to say yes even before you see the whole plan. As you enter into deeper surrender, you will discover a marvelous truth. True freedom comes when you allow me to be Lord. The world teaches that freedom means doing as you please, but the truth of the Spirit is the opposite. You are only truly free when you live according to my will. for then you are shielded from burdens too heavy for you to bear. When I carry them, you will find yourself lighter and more at peace than ever before. Surrender, my child, also opens the way for inner transformation. There are parts of you that you cannot change on your own, no matter how many years you have tried. But when you allow me to work, I will transform you from the root, not only altering outward behavior, but reshaping motives and desires deep within. You will find yourself loving what I love, hating what I hate, and finding joy in what pleases me. Know also that surrender will test your faith profoundly. There will be times when you must take steps without seeing the next one. There will be moments when you must choose what is right, even if it costs you opportunities, support, or immediate gain. But remember, when you choose rightly, you are sowing seeds that will yield an abundant harvest in due season. Once you have surrendered, my child, you will notice a remarkable lessening of anxiety. No longer will you strain to control everything, for you will know that I hold the whole picture. Then you can focus on doing your part well and leave the rest in my hands. This is the peace the world cannot give and cannot take away. Let surrender become a way of life, not just an emotional moment in prayer. Each morning when you rise, remind yourself that today you live not to follow your own will, but to fulfill mine. At each decision point, ask, does this bring delight to the Father? And you will see my guidance more clearly than ever. Surrender will also bring you into deeper union with me. My child, when you and I move as one, you will receive strength and wisdom far beyond natural capacity. You will feel the beat of my heart, and what stirs me will stir you also. This unity will be the foundation upon which you complete every mission entrusted to you. And finally, remember, my child, surrender is not the end, but the door to new beginnings. As you walk through it, you will find realms you have never entered before in your spiritual life and in your influence upon others. You will see that every surrendered step was never in vain. For I am leading you toward the fullness I destined for you from the beginning. Now that you have entered the season of complete surrender, I want you to know this is also the time when I am preparing to unveil mysteries I have long kept hidden. These secrets of mine have been concealed for years, waiting for you to mature in faith and obedience, so that you may receive them without being shaken. They are not merely knowledge, but revelation that will change the way you see the world and how you live within it. True revelation from me, my child, will always draw you closer to me, never to pride. It will stir you to seek me more. Just as Moses, having glimpsed only a passing glory, pleaded, please, show me your glory. Exodus 3:3-1-8. When new things are revealed, guard your heart with humility, for what you know is never the whole, and I always have more to give. Revelation also comes with greater responsibility. I do not reveal things for you to keep only to yourself, but so you may be a bearer of light for those groping in darkness. This means there will be times when you must speak truths that are unwelcome, or stand for righteousness, even when it brings opposition. Yet always remember truth, though resisted, remains truth. I am preparing, my child, to place you in positions of influence you never imagined. New doors will open, not for your pursuit of recognition, but so you may carry the spirit of the kingdom into places unfamiliar with it. You will encounter people of great influence, and I want you to enter those meetings with wisdom and integrity, that every word you speak and every act you take may reflect my nature. Do not be surprised, my child, if I begin to rearrange the relationships around you. Some I will bring closer to support you, while others I will move away, not because they are unworthy, but because they are not meant for this new season. Trust that this shifting is part of my loving plan, and that I know precisely who should walk beside you in order for you to fulfill your calling. In this season, pay attention to the smallest signals I send. Often I do not speak through thunder or dramatic signs, but through a scripture that comes alive in your mind, a dream that lingers in your thoughts, or a gentle stirring in your heart. As you heed and respond to these subtle prompts, you will find yourself one step ahead, avoiding traps the enemy has laid. I also want you, my child, to strengthen the roots of your faith by continually remembering what I have done for you in the past. Testimonies of my deliverance, provision, and guidance will be the source of courage when new trials come. Just as David, facing Goliath, recalled his victories over the lion and the bear, so you will draw strength from the triumphs I have already given. Prepare yourself, my child, for the battle in the Spirit will intensify as you move into new territory. The enemy will do all he can to hinder you, but do not fear, for I have equipped you with the full armor: truth, righteousness, peace, faith, salvation, my word, and unceasing prayer. With these weapons in full use, you will stand firm against every attack. And never forget, my child, every step you take must be covered in prayer. Prayer is not ritual, but the constant line of communication between you and me. As you keep this connection, you will not only hear my instructions, but also receive strength and peace beyond all understanding. Above all, keep your eyes fixed on the eternal goal. Every calling, every sacrifice, every trial is leading you toward a glory far greater than any earthly reward. When you finish the race and stand before me, you will hear my words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Enter into the joy of your master, and that moment will make every effort, every tear, and every sacrifice worth it beyond measure. My child, as you receive revelation and step into new influence, remember that the strength to endure does not come from your natural ability, but from unbroken connection with me. There will be times when you feel drained by pressure, by expectations, by unending battles. Yet it is in weakness that my power is made perfect. When you learn to lean on me rather than your own strength, you will find yourself able to go further than you ever thought possible. Do not be deceived, my child, by the subtle temptations of the enemy in this season. When he cannot bring you down with obvious sin, he will aim at pride, at weariness, or at loneliness. He may try to convince you that you must carry everything alone, or that no one understands the weight you bear. But I want you to remember that I am always beside you, and I have placed companions around you to lift you up when needed. My child, this is also the time when you must guard your heart more than ever before. The heart is the wellspring of every action, and when it is poisoned by bitterness, envy, or fear, you will find yourself slowing down and losing direction. Come often before me, so that I may cleanse and renew your spirit. Just as a stream cleared of debris flows pure and fresh, so too will your heart, once purified, overflow with life and blessing for many others. My dear one, I want you to understand that true success is not measured by the number of people who praise you, but by your faithfulness to what I have entrusted to you. There may be times when you do important things that no one notices or acknowledges, but in heaven, every act of obedience is recorded. Your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. Matthew 6:4. This promise will keep you standing firm when the world overlooks the true value of what you do. My child, do not be afraid when I lead you into new trials. Trials are not a sign that I have abandoned you, but an opportunity for your faith to be refined. Just as gold must pass through fire to become pure, so your faith must also be tested to reveal its true strength. Each time you overcome a trial, you not only become stronger, but also a living testimony to others that I am faithful. My beloved, keep flexibility in this journey. There are strategies that worked in a previous season but will no longer be effective in the new one. Allow me to show you the way forward. And do not cling to old methods simply because they once succeeded. My renewal will always lift you to higher ground. And you must be ready to release the old, to embrace the new. My child, remember that spiritual discipline will be your safeguard. Prayer, studying my word, fasting, and praise are not lifeless duties, but streams that nourish life within you. When you sustain these practices, you will always remain in readiness to face any challenge. A warrior never abandons training, even when there is no battle at hand. My dear one, I also want you to notice the souls I place along your path each day. They may be strangers you happen to meet, or people you have long known but never shared about me. This season is not only about your personal growth, but about the expansion of the kingdom. Be ready to listen to the leading of the Spirit to know when to speak, when to be silent, and when to act to reveal my love. My child, do not forget joy in the journey, even though you are in a serious race. I do not want you exhausted by strain. The joy of the Lord will be your strength. Nehemiah 8:10. Find joy in each step, even before reaching the destination. When you learn to delight in my companionship, every burden will grow lighter. And finally, my beloved, prepare your heart for the great turning point ahead. There are promises I made long ago that you have not yet seen, but the time is drawing near. I am never late, nor ever early, but always right on time. When you are in the right place, at the right moment, every piece will fall into place, and you will understand why I led you through each stage. That moment will be a powerful confirmation that all I do is good and perfect. My child, this is the hour of decision. You have walked through seasons of refining, of surrender, of faith, and now you stand at the threshold of a new season. This season is unlike any before Matter, for it requires not only holding firmly to what you have received, but also courage to step into what I ordained from the beginning. I want you to know that every preparation, every trial, every tear, and every hidden prayer, all of it has led to this moment. My dear one, this is not the time to hesitate or retreat. The enemy will try every way to sow doubt in your heart, to make you think you are not ready or not capable. But remember, it is I who have called you, and it is I who will accomplish it. The one who calls you is faithful, and he will do it. 1 Thessalonians 5:2-4. You do not need to produce the outcome yourself. You only need to walk in obedience and let me act. My child, keep your eyes fixed on me. Do not be distracted by the noise or temptations around you. When Peter stepped out of the boat to walk on water, he did the impossible as long as his eyes were on me. But when he looked at the storm, he began to sink. In the same way, if you keep your spiritual gaze on me, you will overcome every storm and step into the place I have promised. My beloved, now is the time to walk in heightened awareness. Every decision, every word, every action in this season carries greater weight than you realize. The choices you make today will shape the paths of many tomorrow. Therefore, let my word be your standard and my spirit your guide, so that you not only walk rightly, but also leave footprints of blessing for others. My child, remember that the ultimate goal is not temporary earthly success, but eternal reward. You are running a race not merely to finish, but to finish gloriously. When you reach the end, I want you to say with Paul, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. 2 Timothy 4:7. That declaration will testify to a life of faithfulness and a steadfast heart. My dear one, also remember that in this journey, you are never alone. You are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. Along with companions I have placed beside you to strengthen and help you fulfill the mission. Treasure them, pray for them, and walk faithfully together. For a single cord is easily broken, but a cord of 3 strands is not quickly torn apart. My child, as you go forward, do not forget a heart of gratitude. Praise me not only when you see miracles, but even in the midst of the process. Praise will open doors that worry never can. It will also guard your heart from falling into the trap of complaint, which comes so easily when pressures increase. My beloved, I want you to walk with the spirit of a faithful steward. Every gift, every opportunity, every relationship is entrusted by me for the purpose of advancing the kingdom. Do not waste them on trivial or selfish things. When you steward them well, I will trust you with more, and your influence will extend beyond what you could ever imagine. My child, always remember that in the end, victory does not come from your strength, but from my presence with you. When I am with you, no power can stand against you. Even the schemes formed in darkness will be overturned and turned into good for you. Every step you take with me will become a testimony of my faithfulness and power. And now, my beloved, I call you to step forward. Take my hand and walk through the door I am opening. Do not look back. Do not compare yourself to others. And do not wait for perfect conditions. The time is now. You have been prepared. You have been equipped. And you will see me act in ways beyond all you ask or imagine. My precious child, run with all your strength. Hold fast the faith, and enter into the eternal reward prepared for you. When you finish the race, I will welcome you with open arms, and you will hear my voice saying, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord." And in that moment, you will know that everything you have done, everything you have endured, was worth far more than you could measure. Thank you for listening to this message today. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that together we may receive the living word, build steadfast faith, and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.